Namaste and welcome. I'm Julie Hill with Yoga Body. I help people eliminate pain and get back into doing the activities they love through yoga therapy, muscle testing, personal training, and movement therapy. And today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the biomechanics of breathing. So, a lot of times when I'm working with clients or students, they want to know where they should be breathing from, right? And we can certainly get strain in our neck or shoulder tightness, right, in our chest, because we're actually engaging muscles to allow the breath to happen from an area that's not really designed for that movement. Sure, it may be if we were, running for long distances and we really needed to recruit more to help our breath. But if we're just kind of around at a resting level, or if we're doing light walking or moving through our day, really should be able to use a diaphragmatic breath. And so we're going to look at that. But starting out, most importantly, looking at kind of how we are holding ourselves. And so you can start at your base. We're looking for the hips to be in a neutral position. So now I'm sitting on a couple of blankets here. It's about the size of a yoga block, which is maybe why you would sit on a yoga block at the start of class or on blankets. But we want to work to get the pelvis in a neutral position, meaning your front kind of landmark points on your hips and the back, right, are neutral. So sometimes when we sit on the floor, we rock back a little. Just naturally, you get a little bit of a crease coming across your stomach. We want to prop ourselves up so that we can come into just a really neutral position, not tipped forward and not tipped back. So when we come into that nice natural position, we just let the spine lift up and out. And you can think about letting your neck be long. And for some of us, when we lengthen our neck, it kind of lifts our chin or pulls our chin out. So we also want to think about lengthening the neck, but letting the chin just kind of draw slightly back. It's not like we're holding it back. We're just letting it lengthen and draw back a little bit. And then as if I were to walk over and just gently kind of open the front of your collarbone so that this is open and these ribs are relaxed. So I'm not drawing my shoulder blades together and holding them at all. I'm just allowing this to be open with a little bit of softness coming through my rib cage. So that's a really good starting position for coming into kind of getting familiar with where you're breathing from, right? So all of this is going on, and make sure while you're doing it, you're not holding your jaw, right? That we're not clenching in our shoulders or anything like that, that we're allowing the body to be relaxed. And you can start with maybe a hand on your chest and a hand on your belly. This is a great place just to kind of feel the breath, right? And so close your eyes and allow yourself to have 3 just easy breaths here. Not taking the biggest breath that you've ever taken in your life, just a regular gentle flow in, followed by a gentle flow out. Noticing where you feel the breath, right? What we'd like to have here is this top hand be pretty passive and have the bottom hand above the belly button, right, on your upper belly. Get a sense of that is moving there, right? There's some movement going on with the breath. Because when we breathe in through the nose. It encourages the breath to go lower in the lungs where most of the blood will pool, helping that exchange of gases, right? Oxygen converting into the bloodstream and moving on its way to happen more easily, right? And so just allowing it to be a little bit lower in the lungs there, you'll feel a little bit of movement here in that lower hand. And just, again, easy breath in and out through the nose, long neck, chin gently drawn back, open through the collarbone, right? Soft through the rib cage, and the hips are even. And then from there, you could go a little bit further. If you're feeling a lot of movement in that upper hand, just stay there and work to bring the breath lower in the torso. I'm not pushing my belly out at all, right? I'm just letting it kind of sink down. If you want to move on from there, we can bring the hands to the sides of the ribs. So this would be like rib 7, 8, 9, and 10. I'm letting the palms just kind of rest here. This is what I'm kind of feeling, and with my palms, the fingers just wrap around. And I'm going to close my eyes and take a few breaths. So just allow the breath to flow into your body again, right? In and out through your nose very gently. Notice if you feel the sides of those ribs breathing out gently and coming back together, right? So this is known as a diaphragmatic breath. I think of it as a little bit like an accordion breath because of the expansion to the sides. Some people call it a bucket handle breath, right? But we want to allow it to happen, not make it happen, if you can kind of differentiate between the two, right? Our diaphragm will be in its relaxed position and it will actually contract and start to lengthen, right? When it pulls down, it creates a little more space, which changes the pressure inside of us, which is going to draw in the air, right? And then when it releases and comes back into its released position, again, it'll change the pressure inside of you, pressing the air out, right? The air is going to come out because the atmospheric pressure is a little bit lower than what's going on inside. And so that diaphragm is actually designed for that movement. Now, we breathe over 20,000 times a day, and our pattern for our breathing can change without us even knowing it. And so, where we start to breathe from could be in a completely different place, right? Sometimes we use secondary respiratory muscles, which are a little higher, right? Intercostals and scalenes in your neck. And or if you're nervous or you get frightened, you can feel some of that turn on, and it just doesn't turn off. So consciously allowing your hands to just feel this little bit of just gentle movement out and in starts to allow your body to come back to really how it was designed. You can do this seated in a chair. You could doing it laying down on your back is a great way to do it, right? Still neck is long, chin is drawn in, collarbone open, hips are level. And another thing that you could really start to think about with your breath here is just keeping it nice and low in and out, right? If you're in the habit of really kind of trying to breathe into your belly, it's going to feel quite different for you, right? So try and think of instead of out, forward, and back, we really want to think breathing slightly into the sides and back together. You may even feel one hand where the movement is so much easier and fluid than the other side. And that would just give you a little more information about kind of how the musculature is through this torso. And it may be something with the diaphragm is sticky. It could be that transverse abdominis on that side, or perhaps one of your obliques is just a little bit tight and held, and it needs a little release work. This is a great place to start looking at the biomechanics of breathing here. So kind of walk through those things, breathing through your nose, aligning your body, and really encouraging the breath to kind of move into this accordion style breath. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I am really excited to kind of hear what your questions are or where this conversation really needs to go for you. Julie at Yoga Body LLC. You can email me directly. Here's to a happier and healthier you. Namaste.